Hey guys, it's Viv.
Angie.
Welcome to our channel. So we just finished watching part 2 of the finale with Peter.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say or how I really feel about this episode. Please let us know what you guys think down below, because this was a whirlwind for sure.
Yeah, this was definitely, like Chris Harrison always says, the most dramatic finale ever.
Yes, it was. So this finale was set up with the final rose and like the after the final rose stuff, where we had a live after the final rose.
Yep.
So we head over to Australia with Peter and Hannah Ann, and we see them getting ready for their engagement or the proposal.
Mm-hmm.
And again, remember guys, Hannah Ann does not know that Madison has left. So we see Hannah Ann in her hotel room getting ready, and she was having some doubts.
Yeah, I mean, she was like, I don't know where Peter's at. His heart is split in two. That really worries me. And the last scene that we see of her is her laying on the bed. And I'm like, no, don't wrinkle your dress. Like, get up.
Yeah.
That, like, spoke volumes.
So Chris Harrison tells Peter, I'm so sorry, I just found this out. That little teaser that we've been really getting all season. And he says, I don't think Hannah Ann is coming. Peter obviously is super upset. But then very shortly after, he says, it's okay, Hannah Ann's coming.
Right. I feel like the producers were trying. Maybe it was real, but I feel like they were really trying to, like, up the drama.
Yeah. So Hannah Ann comes down in her white dress to Peter, and this was the most cringy, weirdest proposal for many reasons.
Yes. Comparing it to past seasons, typically in a proposal, you'll have the bachelor or bachelorette talk, then their loved one that they're going to propose to also talks about how much they also love them.
Yeah.
And then the man will propose. Like, once they both communicate that they're on the same page and they're ready to move on, the man proposes. Peter started talking, got really into his emotions. I think it was an emotional day for him.
Yeah.
Didn't let Hannah Ann talk
At all.
which
It was so weird. And she was having those doubts right before.
as she's walking down to see Peter, you can see it on her face. And maybe this is me overanalyzing her face, but it looked like she was ready to give up and, like, ready to say goodbye.
Yeah.
So for Peter to not have let her talk, I almost feel like things could have been different.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So Peter did end up getting on one knee and proposing to Hannah Ann. And previously, he did FaceTime Hannah Ann's dad and ask for his permission to marry his daughter. And he was like, I trust my daughter. Go ahead.
Yep.
So now the two are engaged. Their celebration was kind of awkward. Peter looked genuinely happy, but Hannah Ann was like, oh, wait, it's just us now? Like, all these, like, weird comments. And they were very cringy because we kind of assumed...
We were obviously watching this knowing something is gonna go wrong.
Right, exactly. So now we see Peter go see his family, and he tells them he did in fact propose to Hannah Ann, and of course they were so happy. His mom was the happiest, and
Very emotional.
of course. And Peter FaceTimed Hannah Ann, and she was like, my daughter, mwah, 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 I love you, my daughter, we all love you. Oh, God, yeah.
Peter's mom was very, very happy with his decision.
So now we cut to the live, and we finally see Peter come out and speak with Chris Harrison. And Peter was looking a little off.
Yes. So the first thing that came into my head, I mean, it's been a couple of months since they stopped filming, but if you looked at Peter's eyes, I don't know, they looked swollen, like almost like he had been crying or was just real emotional earlier.
Yeah.
I felt awful. I'm like, oh no, what's coming? Like, something really sad that's gonna happen because you could just see it. His vibe, his aura was definitely off.
So now we are at a month after the engagement, and we see Hannah Ann and Peter finally see each other. So apparently they've had some communication, but they haven't seen each other in person.
Right.
And we quickly find out why this is. So obviously, like we all suspected, Peter is having a very tough time with this Madison breakup.
Yep.
Hannah Ann has been there 100% for him, supporting him, being there for him, and helping him as much as she can through this process because this is her fiance and this is who she's going to be with for the rest of her life. So it's very difficult, you know, it's not just like some other life problem. It's like you're helping your fiance get over someone else.
Yeah, it's really strange, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah. We see this conversation quickly escalate. Hannah Ann talks to Peter about how she wants to be in a relationship that's 50-50, and she hasn't been receiving that from him. And they end up breaking up. This is so insane. Throughout the episode, we weren't really sure exactly where things were going, because the way the production happened and the way Chris Harrison was teasing things, I don't know.
I don't know, but all I can say is, and maybe they were both ready to have the conversation. It reminded me a lot of Becca and Ari. That's like, I was like, this is deja vu. Yep. Except for the fact that it wasn't that emotional for me. I feel like if you were engaged to someone and like all of those feelings of like being with this person forever and like they're your forever person, I don't know. I would, even if I prepped going into this house with a film crew knowing that we were going to break up, I would still get really emotional. And granted, we all deal with emotions differently.
Right.
But it was like a cold breakup. Like even when she got into the car, they didn't hug one last time. She just got in the car. He didn't, like, I don't know. It was so off. It was really off for me.
Yeah, I mean, Hannah Ann excused herself. She went to the bathroom, and Peter followed her into the bathroom to kind of explain himself a little bit more, and she just was not having it. I don't know if she was just trying to stay strong.
Maybe.
And she probably broke down, a lot more later. But she ended up handing the ring back to him and closing his hand and was like, this is it.
Done.
I'm done. And there's no going back. Like, she was so serious about it. And I don't know.
So now we go back to the live with Chris Harrison and Peter, and you can tell Peter's really upset, and he is sad about the situation. He does open up and reflect about how he couldn't match Hannah Ann and what she was giving him.
So now we see Hannah Ann finally come out. She was looking fierce.
Super beautiful, though. She looks so beautiful tonight.
And she was ready to speak her mind, let me tell you.
Yep.
She brought up the fact of Peter telling her that if he let her go, it would be the biggest regret of his life. And obviously if you're in a relationship with someone or getting engaged to someone, these things that they say to you, you're going to hold on to them and you're going to hold them to a high standard and think that they're true.
Yeah, I mean, Hannah Ann did say something along the lines of like, his words do hold weight, and I don't think he realized how much his words mean to her and like how serious she's taking everything.
Hannah Ann called him out too for telling her, I really wish that we met outside of this show. I think things could have worked. And even after the engagement ended, he even reached out to her family. I'm not sure exactly if it was to apologize to them or what she didn't say, but she was definitely not holding back.
No, and she finished off with the last word and saying that he basically something along the lines of like not being over Madison or Hannah B. Which I'm like, ooh, she's spilling some major tea.
Yeah, she said a huge red flag was it wasn't just her in their engagement. It was 3 women. And this whole time, Hannah Ann and Peter are up there. We see in the little corner Peter's mom just rooting her on, just loving her just like she did during the season. It was hilarious.
It was like it was her daughter.
Yeah.
So, fast forward the tape some more. We have Chris Harrison play kind of like a little fairy godfather.
Yeah.
He flies out to Alabama to see Madison. Madison's kind of like surprised on why he's there. So he walks in and basically tells Madison everything. That Peter left Australia engaged. That Peter is now single. Yeah. Which, imagine her processing all of that. Like,
in like 2 seconds, didn't even get
right. But they basically have a conversation and she still loves Peter. And if she could go back, she would. Like, she fully regrets leaving. Which is heartbreaking. Like, it just, So, basically, Chris asks her, would you give this relationship a second chance? And she said, yes.
Yeah, and she's like, okay, guess we're going to LA.
Yep. Gets on a plane, flies to Los Angeles, and Peter is at a house thinking that Chris Harrison is going to come talk to him about who knows what. And little does he know it's Madison that he's going to see. And he was surprised. He was really taken back.
And he was like,
he was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
It was shocking. But it's funny because when Madison and Peter communicate, they're very like quiet and
calm, cool, and collective.
Yes. And they're both really happy, but that's it. That's all we see is them talking face to face, like inches from kissing. And that's it. Like, we don't see much more.
So now we're back at the live with Peter and Chris flat out asked him, are you still in love with Madison? And he said, I am.
So right after that, Madison walks out. You can tell they're really nervous, but happy to see each other.
And this is the first time that they are seeing each other since that quick little talk in the backyard.
Granted, they have been talking, but this is the first time they're seeing each other face to face again. Chris Harrison then also asked Madison if she was in love with Peter, and she said yeah. And so they both expressed how they have a lot of love for each other and respect. However, they both are healing because, I mean, Peter just went through, he kept saying like he was the worst bachelor ever and he made all the mistakes. And it broke my heart for Peter because it's like, you are not the worst bachelor.
So obviously Peter's family has been a big part of this season with him. And Chris Harrison asks his mom, you know, what are your feelings on this? And she said a lot of stuff, guys. It was intense. It was cringy. She said with Hannah Ann, she just felt the love with her. She thought everything was just so organic. Now with Madison, she spilled some tea. So as we saw when Madison met Peter's family, they had a long conversation before that. But we didn't know the full extent of what happened before she met his family. So she said, Madison made us wait for 3 hours. She didn't apologize. She didn't even want to meet us.
Right.
It was insane. She could just tell this whole situation was very rocky.
Yeah, she also expressed that, of course, Hannah Ann's introduction and meeting her in her first impression was very loving, where she unfortunately didn't have the same experience with Madison. And so it was really hard for the whole family to see, like, why does Peter even like this girl?
Right. Peter's mom definitely had a whole lot to say tonight, you know, and it was really all negative about Maddie and Peter's relationship. But directly at Maddie, one thing that really stood out to me that I kind of agreed with was she feels like Peter is the one that is compromising in their relationship. And Madison hasn't really done any compromising. So she doesn't feel like this is a partnership. She doesn't think this is going to work.
After Peter's mom lets it all out, Madison does stick up for herself and say, you know, yes, The Bachelor was about Peter finding love, but this is also my life and my journey in finding love, and we are equal in this.
Right.
And not for nothing, I agreed with I was so proud of her for standing up to his mom. not that she was being disrespectful to the mom, but you're starting on real rocky waters with the parents.
Right. And on national TV. And guys, even imagine what Madison's family is thinking.
Right.
Like, imagine her parents watching another parent, like, attack their daughter.
On TV, on live TV. Ugh.
This is going to be a very hard, rocky relationship. And it's going to be difficult for them to kind of get through just this hump.
I feel real bad. Peter was consoling Madison the whole time. I loved that. I think it's going to be rocky because the parents are so involved and invested in. A part of me is like, you guys got to let them be, because it doesn't matter. You're not living in this marriage.
Right. And Peter did stick up for Madison, which I loved. And he was like, Mom, like, stop, please. Like, I'm begging you, stop.
I love her.
Yeah. I will tell you guys, though, the most cringy thing that Peter's mom said was, Peter's gonna have to fail before he succeeds. Basically saying their relationship is going to fail before Peter finds the one, or something like that. Ugh, that hurt me, and I'm not even in this relationship. Like, that was so awful to hear.
I do hope that if Peter and Madison do love each other as much as they say they do, that they focus on each other and only on each other and what they need from each other, because everyone else is just noise.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult. And guys, remember, Peter still lives at home, which is fine, but like,
his mom is real opinionated.
Yeah, he's gonna have to move out and like have his own sanctuary for their relationship.
Yeah. Well, I just hope that Peter and Madison end up happy. Hopefully together. If not, just that they're happy.
Right. They're both really amazing people, Peter especially. So yeah, as long as they're happy, then nothing else matters. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think they're gonna make it in the long run, or do you think all these obstacles are gonna be too much for them?
After we say bye to Madison and Peter, we get introduced to Claire, who is the new Bachelorette.
Please comment down below what you guys think. Did you guys watch any of her past seasons? I am really excited for her. She's a little bit older. I think this is going to be a very mature and interesting season to watch.
Yes.
I didn't watch her original season, but I did watch her on Winter Games. I will admit I wasn't the biggest fan of her, but watching her through social media and stuff, I do think that she's a really cool girl.
I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for watching and keeping up with us during this whole season. We love you guys.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell notification so you guys can see every time that we upload a new video.
Yes, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.